Red 1 is directed by Jake Kasdan and it stars Dwayne Johnson, Chris Hemsworth, J.K. Simmons, Lucy Liu, and Kiernan Shipka. And in this new Christmas movie, after Santa Claus is kidnapped, the North Pole's head of security must team up with a tracker to track down Santa Claus and save Christmas. Red 1 was a movie I had no excitement for, really. It looked like a movie you'd see on Netflix, you know, like those Red Notice stuff. That's what this movie felt like. On top of that, we heard about The Rock's antics behind the scenes, how he was late to set so many times and how he pees on sets in bottles. More reasons for me to hate him, I'll take what I can get. So yeah, my hype for this film was basically non-existent. But I've just come back from seeing it, and I can confirm that this movie is not good, but it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Red 1 is just your typical middle-of-the-road, generic blockbuster that you've seen a million times before. The story isn't terrible. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Santa Claus goes missing. Head of security has to try and find him and save Christmas. It's kind of generic, but I don't know, it could work. But what really annoyed me about this movie, and mainly its plot, is that it introduces things that could have been way more interesting than what we've got. For example, they add in so many of these like mythical creatures, and they explain like this society is not just about doing Christmas, it's about trapping and interrogating these mythical beings like the Headless Horseman and all of that. That sort of thing is more interesting than what we got. Imagine like the head of security of the North Pole teaming up with this tracker, trying to find this witch and going through all these different like mythical creatures. That could have been incredibly entertaining. But that's not what we got, unfortunately. The characters in this movie are not terrible. The Rock plays The Rock. I'm just going to call him that because he's The Rock. You don't care about his name. He plays the North Pole's head of security, and he's retiring after this Christmas because he sees a lot of bad in the world. He doesn't think Christmas is worth it anymore. And I think you can kind of tell where his arc is going and how it will be redeemed. And he's teaming up with Chris Evans, who plays this tracker, who had a bit of a bad past. His dad left him, he's having troubles with his son and his wife, and he doesn't really like Christmas. And he's an arsehole to everyone around him. And this is a big flaw for his character and for the entire movie itself. They tried to do what they do in the first Iron Man, where Tony Stark is this really unlikable arms dealer, but you like his redemption. But the reason why we like him in the first place a little bit is because he was funny. In this, Chris Evans' character is so unlikable. Like, he steals a baby's lollipop. Like, that's how bad he is. He just doesn't care about anyone. He's not that funny. So his arc just didn't really hit well because, well, you just really hate him for what he did. And the villain is Big Bad Guy 101. She has a motivation, and it's not a bad one. It's kind of understandable, but you can see the flaws with it, so you understand why she has to be stopped. But she's just not utilised well. Apparently she's a shapeshifter. And she doesn't shapeshift at all until right towards the end, where we're going to have the big CGI battle, because that's how all these movies end. And she just really wasn't interesting. Why does she want to do this? What led her to this decision? We don't really know. Was she done wrong in the past? I don't know. The movie never tells me. The best character in this movie was Krampus. Now, he doesn't really have an arc. Well, he does. But it's the most lazily written arc ever. Of course, we all know what Krampus is. He doesn't like Santa, and he likes to ruin Christmas. You know what Krampus is. The actor playing him, I don't know who he is, but he was a lot of fun. It was very clear that he was having a good time, and he brought a lot of energy to the film. And he was funny. You know, when he was on screen, he was actually really funny, entertaining. So Krampus was easily the best character in this movie. And The Rock and Chris Evans meet these characters along the way. They have fights, they have adventures. To say Christmas, you know what these films are like. And it's kind of uninteresting. There were moments that I really did like. There were like, when they did something unique with the concept, that's where this movie really worked for me. For example, during action scenes, they have these like weird weapons that can like freeze people in time, and they can like unfreeze them when they want them to. That was actually really cool. And then they got the large enhancer thing where they can make like toy cars, actual cars and stuff like that. When it used stuff like that, like the gadgets, This movie was on another level for me. I was having a good time. But they don't utilise these elements well. And that's present in the action scenes as well. They use them sometimes, but never to like great effect. And the action was kind of dull. Like, it is what it is. There was like some interesting characters in there, I guess. But the main problem is that there's no tension. We all know that Dwayne Johnson likes to be the big guy who wins every fight. And that's what happens here. He gets hit a few times, but he wins the battle quite easily in the end. So the movie is just drained of all tension because you know that he'll probably win it. Added on to that, the movie uses quick cuts, which I've never been a big fan of, as you know, because I've said it many times. And you can't tell what's happening. It's clear that they're just hiding stunt doubles. And the CGI that they use look absolutely awful. And this is one of the big issues with this movie. The CGI and visuals. My God, it's very clear that they were working these artists to death once again. Because apart from a few things like Garcia the polar bear, everything else looked trash. There's this scene at the start where Dwayne Johnson is going down this slide. And oh my God, the green screen looked absolutely abysmal. And the big giant CGI fight at the end, oh wow, it looked incredibly fake. You could not buy a single shot in this movie, to be honest. And if you want proof that practical effects always outshine CGI, just look at the costumes. Like, look at the makeup on Krampus and his goons. It all looks really good, really convincing. The makeup artist did a phenomenal job with them. When it uses stuff like that, again, it looks great. And the way that this movie is shot as well, it's very bland. There's a couple of nice shots of the North Pole, I guess. I mean, it's competently shot, but there's just nothing interesting about the way that the camera moves or how a scene is laid out. There is just nothing interesting visually to look at here. One thing that I just noticed that I forgot to tell you about the writing, it is the humour. This movie is not funny at all. And they use these jokes that I'm really getting sick and tired of hearing in these films now. Where somebody says something and the other character just says the mildly shocking thing about it. You see it in the trailer.
Are you telling me this clown is a level 4 naughty lister? A level 4 naughty lister?
That is a lot of the jokes in this movie. Oh, those are demon wolves. Demon wolves? Oh, that's Krampus. Krampus? Those are the jokes. And I'm getting really, really sick and tired of them. And finally, the performances are very hit and miss. The Rock is playing The Rock. I mean, what a surprise. He plays the same generic, big, tough guy hero in every single movie. I don't like this guy as an actor. I don't really like him as a person. He doesn't challenge himself. He doesn't do anything unique. Why does this guy bring in big money? I don't know. The Rock just really needs to do something different. Because I'm getting really sick and tired of these roles that he's doing. Chris Evans is fine. He's fine. I mean, he didn't do anything spectacular, but he played his part well. But him and Johnson had zero chemistry. They did not look like they were enjoying each other's company at all. Lucy Liu looked as if she wanted to do anything else but this movie. J.K. Simmons looked like he was having a decent time as Santa Claus. But Kiernan Shipka, I mean, I've seen her in a couple films before, and I think she's a decent actress. But I don't know what she was trying to do in this role. She was very over the top, and her accent changes from very British to very American so many times. So overall, Red One wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not very good either. It's another generic blockbuster with, you know what you're going to get, big CGI battle, really poor CGI visuals, really poor humour at times. I mean, you get what you get. It's one of those movies that is supposed to be on Netflix that you just put on every now and again at Christmas so your kids can get distracted for 2 hours. Kids will probably like this film. Adults will probably tolerate it. Overall, this film is just not really good. I mean, it probably entertains some people, but that's it. For me, I wasn't enjoying myself a lot. I'm just going to give Red One the very middle of the road score of a 5 out of 10. And guys, that's it for the end of this review. If you have seen Red One, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a good day. And see you later.